Hello, today we're in Matthew chapter 25, verses 14 to 30. We've all heard stories of sons and daughters that have gone to clean out the family home after their parents have died, and they've stumbled across great stashes of money, stashed perhaps under a mattress or in the back of a drawer or buried behind a garden shed. And it's difficult to understand why somebody would do this, why they wouldn't put the money in the bank where at least it could draw a little bit of interest. Leaders of countries that follow capitalist ideas like Australia understand the significance of getting our money to work. They claim that there's very little point sitting on huge sums of money, so that when the economy is in trouble, you'll hear them talking about investing in infrastructure or manufacturing, or, as is the case at the moment, schemes like JobKeeper that aim to get our nation's money to work and hopefully expand the economy. Some people, some individuals, put their money to work by investing in the stock market. They study it every day, following the ups and downs, and become expert in it. But many of us don't understand the secrets of the stock market, and we'd be reluctant to invest our money in that way. So far, I've only talked about how investment works in an earthly kingdom. But what about the kingdom of heaven? We've been looking at stories and parables in Matthew for many weeks now. The very first parable that Jesus tells in Matthew is the parable of the sower, way back in Matthew chapter 13. And after Jesus has shared this story, the disciples ask him, "Why do you teach the people using parables?" And Jesus says to his disciples, "You've been given the secrets of the kingdom of heaven. You know how it works, but not everybody has this gift, this insight. It hasn't been given to them. To those who listen to my teaching, more understanding will be given, and they will have an abundance of knowledge. But for those who are not listening, even the little understanding that they have, it will be taken away from them. That's why I tell stories, to make them ready, to nudge the people, to make them receptive to kingdom insight. In their present state, they can stare forever and never see it. They can listen till they're blue in the face and never hear it." I think that Jesus was talking about religious folk, those who had been given so much treasure, but now they would not listen. Later in chapter 13, Jesus says that the kingdom of heaven is like buried treasure, hidden away in a field for years, and then accidentally found by someone passing through. That person is so happy that they sell everything that they have to acquire that field and its treasure. The knowledge of the secrets of the kingdom of heaven are just so valuable. With all of that background, we can look again at the parable of the talents. Jesus has entrusted the knowledge of the secrets of the kingdom of heaven to his disciples. He's given some more and some less according to their abilities, but the amount given is not important. A talent was a huge measurement, a huge unit of measurement for silver or gold, amounting to about 30 kilograms. So even the servant who was given just one talent was not given something small or insignificant. He had more than enough to make a serious investment for his master. The gift was so big that it didn't matter if you were given more or less. What was important was what the disciples did with it, what they did with the knowledge of the kingdom of heaven that they were given. Recognizing that they had been given such a great treasure, what would they do with it? Some of his disciples went and made use of the knowledge that had been given. They made a profit for Jesus, expanding the kingdom of heaven, and they were rewarded. But some of his disciples kept the knowledge to themselves. They buried it. There was no profit for the kingdom of heaven. and it did not grow. Nobody could learn about the kingdom of heaven by observing their lives or listening to what they said. In fact, the only way anyone could find out about it was to accidentally stumble upon the treasure that they had buried. And so in the parable that Jesus told, they're treated as outsiders because they had revealed by their behaviour that they were not true disciples of Jesus Christ. The parable of the talents teaches us how we as disciples of Jesus are to prepare for his return by investing what we know about the kingdom of heaven so that it will grow. In 1 Corinthians chapter 4, Paul touches on some of the themes of this parable. Think about us as servants of Christ, as those entrusted with the secret things of God. Now it is required that those who have been given a trust must prove faithful. I don't care if I am judged by you or by any human court. In fact, I don't even judge myself. My conscience is clear, but that doesn't prove that I'm right. It is the Lord himself who will examine me and decide. So don't get ahead of the master and jump to conclusions with your judgments before all of the evidence is in. He will bring to light what is hidden in darkness, and it will expose the motives of the heart. Only then will any of us get to hear his well done. With this parable, Jesus is challenging us. If we've been entrusted with the secrets of the kingdom of heaven, he wants us to use it. How shameful if the only chance for those around us to learn about the kingdom is to stumble on the treasure that we have buried. And how wonderful for those who invest what they have learned in others to hear Jesus say, "Well done, good and faithful servant. Come and share in my happiness." Amen.